for May 18th, 2023. Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, our agenda this evening, as it was posted on the town signboard, but did not make it to the town website. It was included on the minutes of the May 4th meeting, and that was posted on the town website. Is as follows. Number one, Carrier site plan and special use permit. Applicant seeks approval to convert an existing garage into a daycare center on property located at 215 Oakwood Avenue. Lynn Courier is the applicant. Number two, Humboldt Country LLC, site plan. Applicant seeks to open a cannabis dispensary in the Walmart Plaza at 740 Hoosick Road. Humboldt Country LLC is the applicant. Number three, Uzo waiver subdivision. Applicant seeks to subdivide approximately 10.7 acres from a 60-acre parcel to create a new building lot on property located at 137 Town Office Road. Matthew Uzo is the applicant. Our first item on our meeting agenda basically is to review the minutes of the May 4th meeting. Is there anyone that has any comments, additions, or corrections to the minutes of May 4th? Okay, hearing none, I will make a motion to approve the minutes as they were submitted. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, first on our agenda is the Courier site plan and special use permit. And I do not see.
I was going to say, we've received nothing new from Ms. Courier, and I don't see where she's in attendance or is Mr. Ring, so I would say they are not going to be here.
Okay,
I did submit comments to them.
yes,
There's a couple pages, so they probably didn't have time to update the plans. Figured they'd wait for the plans ready.
okay.
Did you get copies of them?
I did not get any new copies of anything.
You will by email, I'll send it.
Did you read me all that previously? Did I miss it?
No, it was just an email that Wayne CC'd me on regarding the questions to Mr. Ring.
Okay,
And I did not forward it to the planning board members. I will do that right now.
then there is no necessity to go through those comments that were submitted by.
No, I think when
Yeah.
the applicant's ready to respond, that'll be the time.
Okay. Okay, moving along to our second, Humboldt Country LLC site plan. All right,
Good afternoon, everyone.
how are you tonight?
I'm doing very well, thank you. You're the first person to ask me that in our week, so that's very good. My name is Scott Shearing. I'm from Bulwark Engineering. I'm representing AOW, DASNY, and the team of Humboldt Country LLC for the project located at 740, right here on Hoosick Road. This is an existing plaza. They're looking to occupy existing retail space. And we've enjoyed working with the town. We've been working with them for several weeks now. It's been a pleasure. And again, the team of DASNY, AOW, and Humboldt Country. And I just want to run through some details that from the discussions that had come up at the last workshop. We have made some small edits to the plans that you are, not the plans, but actually the summary for which you have in front of you, and I'll run through them if I may. One of the comments was the industry, as you can imagine. I guess everybody's aware of the press that the recent facility in Schenectady had opened up Queuing was a concern, a little congestion. That was a very unique situation because they're right on Union Street. This site is significantly different, so I wanted to address those items. The parking, obviously, we have significant parking that's allowable for this, for all the rental spaces and overflow as part of the, in front of the Walmart as well. It's always appears to be overparked, even during the holidays. I live around the corner, I've got relatives in the area, so that's one of the congestion issues that we had recognized previously. It came up in the workshop. The other item was just management of any lines for the queuing. The facility in Schenectady, they have 3, I'm gonna call them POS, point of service transactions. How you, if you go in an Apple store, people are running on with iPads and they're actually greeting you. They're pushing your order through, and there's a nice little system. This facility has twice as many as the place in Schenectady. We're looking at 6. Additionally, they are an advocate for the control of the management security. So we are also prepared to have employees run with tablets. So as there's the vestibule there for security, the whole facility is heavily monitored, battery backup, all the bells and whistles. And with that security, they are able to take orders in the lobby as the checking IDs and that kind of thing. People will be placing orders online. They're there for pickup. So it's a very, very tight checks and balance. It's put forth by state regulations and certainly the DASNY program. So we've really honed in on the concerns that you had for too much queuing outside, and that will be a management system similar to what you see in a bank, using the sidewalk, which is very, very wide. You can accommodate, we can do switchbacks and not impact the other tenants. On the outside and inside, the little vestibule area is what I'll call it, similar to almost a lockport, that and the ratio is never going to exceed like a 2-to-1 is what we're going to be targeting. So it's going to be armed guards in there. We're going to have several folks in there for to process orders, check IDs, and we understand the concern. And obviously, the client and the team that I'm on and represent here, we're making sure that this goes as seamless as possible. So we heard you loud and clear on those items. Additionally, they've all been summarized in this memo right here. It's just a small another update. They've extended their. They're going to have more employees, a couple more employees. So just to make sure checks and balance. And this is to ensure when there's a surge, say opening day, opening week, opening month, that there's no breakdown in the security and the process that they work so hard to achieve. The hours I've noted on here, and in terms of employees, we're looking at 15. The hours, just to circle back, we're looking at 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Monday through Thursday. Those are the traditional hours for everybody else in the plaza. Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. until midnight. And on Sunday, we're looking at 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We were talking about the regulations that they have. Obviously, the Office of Cannabis Management guidelines for adult use recreational dispensaries, they dictate regulatory requirements, making sure that everybody kind of follows in, that we are following those guidelines, and we have been working, again, directly with DASNY. We've been working with them so much. We had conversations, our team with them earlier today, several times this week, earlier today, and they're excited to hear the verdict of how things progress here today. So there are no exterior improvements proposed for the site. We did submit a seeker form. We anticipate it's going to be a type 2, but what we're looking for, we anticipate that from this meeting, ideally have lead agency, declare lead agency with the town, take the steps to notify county. I believe that's on your list, and then set the dates for a public hearing, which is, I believe, the next kind of round out the program. And if you had any questions, I'd certainly welcome the opportunity to field them all.
Based on your experience, do you have, I know that you gear up for this initial surge and so forth and so on. What do you anticipate as the approximate length of this surge? When does this start to wean down to basically normal traffic? Is it a couple months, 3 months? What's your experience on this?
So it's let me put this in the DASNY, hitting the gas on many facilities. You obviously one of them. Other municipalities that have them coming and they're running parallel approval as this one. So you aren't going to be the only one in town, which takes the relief off of, you'll get the local community, it's anticipated you'll get the local folks. Certainly the ones that are further east of us will stay east. The ones that are in Schenectady now have their own facility, but in the surrounding area, they are, the approval process is going to be wrapped up by, not only the approval process, they will be operational midsummer. But that's when this is too. Their initial target dates of June, doesn't look like that's going to hit. Maybe it'll be shortly after that. But there's a wave of them coming, so they are all, we also represent Chick-fil-A. There's one going in Clifton Park, there's one going in East Greenbush. They're opening at the same time to manage the congestion. That we have control over, but in this scenario, where they are just hitting the gas, a little more independent because each team is pushing their own projects, but I know the teams are pushing projects, and you may your surge, I don't anticipate your surge lasting for more than a couple months, because the wave of them is just coming. And I think that's on the high end.
I know initially, the only experience I know is I know some people that go over to the one in Massachusetts when I opened up at this field. And you said it was just like not, it's like going to the Super Bowl. Basically. So, but I don't know how long that deceleration process was.
Massachusetts was very unique, and we have experience there. So Massachusetts, close to New York. New York wasn't legalized, mad rush to make that happen. I'm going to speak to the point where you are absolutely in parallel with all these other facilities that are popping up. And actually behind on some, so they'll get the surges that you are not experiencing. I don't anticipate this. It could be 4 to 8 weeks. It really, I can leave my house, go for a gallon of milk, I can go within a mile and hit 20 places. There's Cumberland Farms, there's Stewart's, there's Price Chopper in Hannaford, there are many options. The way that the municipalities and everybody that chose to opt in, and it's significant, I'd be surprised if it lasted for more than eight weeks. I anticipate it might be less, probably around 4.
Okay. I mean, you've answered the question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone have any other comments at this time? Mr. Bumstead is an engineer. Site plan review.
Well, they're not making any site improvements. You're not doing any advertising or displays out on the sidewalk, right? You're not gonna have anything outside building except a place for people to queue up and get inside.
So there will be the typical signage,
You say typical.
be compliant, but any signage will actually go through, that's part of the building permit process. So we are looking for anything.
You'll have maybe a sign on the building, you'll have a sign maybe at near the road.
Correct, the pylon sign most likely. And actually, I'm fortunate enough to have Al, who I think is excited to speak about it. He's from AOW.
I'm with AOW, the lead for the design team. DASNY is following the Office of Cannabis Management protocols and guidelines. They are not allowed to have advertisement outside. They can have a sign, they can have the logo, but they're not allowed to advertise. They're not allowed to promote anything that would be enticing to children, any of that kind of stuff. They are allowed to show some of the merchandise in the windows, such as hats or shirts. They're not allowed to show any product. At no point can you look through a window and see any product. There'll be walls that'll, or tinted glass, whatever it is, to prohibit the view from moving outside into some of the product. And that's all by OCM regulations.
Can you disclose where these other shops are going?
They aren't necessarily on my team.
Yeah, I can tell you the ones I know. There's one on Central Ave that's in planning right now, near the Home Depot,
Company?
around 900 Central Ave, let's say. Just
Just
like,
like Gateway,
Westgate Plaza?
Westgate,
um,
down there?
yes, past Westgate, the Home Depot on the right. There's a little plaza right there. There's one going in there. There's the one in Schenectady. There's another one going into Schenectady. The one in Schenectady that's there now is kind of like a pop-up location. It's not really part of this program. This program being run by DASNY has a lot more control. That's why there's 6 POSs. They're taking into consideration everything you need to open and function properly right from day one. The one that opened on Union Street was actually a disappointment to DASNY because they're saying, well, we're getting kind of roped in and lumped into this party. We had nothing to do with this. But there will be another one in Schenectady. There's the one in Albany. There's this one. That's the first wave locally in the Capital District. There'll probably be another 6 to 8 in the Capital District in the next phase. We're trying to,
Rensselaer County, you think, or not?
I don't know what other towns in Rensselaer County opted in. As of right now, the way there's 5 design development teams for upstate New York, we're 1 of 5. They're rotating through the 5 and assigning them based on geographic location. This location, I believe, has, the Capital District has 3 or 4 of the 5 teams vying for projects here. So AOW's design team may only get, we'll only get 1 of 4, let's say. So right now, there'll be 3 others. I just know for 2, the one in Schenectady and the one in Central Ave that are definitely in planning. I'm not sure who else in Rensselaer County has opted in.
I don't know that. From an engineering standpoint, I really don't see any issues. They're not, the only upgrades are to the interior of the building, correct?
The interior fit out.
Change the doors,
There's a lot of security.
the storefront and all that stuff.
What about the space that's remaining, that's not, doesn't have, won't have a door after this is constructed? This-
There's a door getting installed, an exterior door.
Okay.
And then we also have to cut a door in the front. Unfortunately, the way that that mall sits, the grade goes up.
Right.
And they really didn't plan for changing of storefronts because there's I think in the case of this one, where the door has to be up to the sidewalk. So you're up about 2 blocks. So you gotta cut the doorway in. But there will be doors to that. I've inspected the demising wall for that.
You're not making any changes in parking?
There's no exterior improvements.
Accessible parking or anything?
Is there any consideration on for security on the internal walls that may be common to a store next to it? Does there have to be any additional reinforcing of those for security?
Part of the interior, are you aware of anything about the neighboring store?
Yeah, there's nothing on the neighboring store. The only security, the entire place is under surveillance.
Okay.
There's an extensive security cameras. It's all monitored remotely. There's glass breakage, there's sound, there's cameras everywhere, there's panic buttons. So that's a major deterrent for theft right there, is that there's a visible camera system that's just everywhere. But the real security lies in the vault. So there's a vault in the middle of the store. If you look at the floor plan, you'll see it is right in the middle, behind the POS counter. That vault is constructed out of metal framing, 9-gauge expanded metal all around the metal framing and the ceiling, and then fuse-resistant sheetrock. So that, if I can show you the vault right. Yeah, right there. So that'll have secure walls and a ceiling all around all 4 sides. And that's where the product is housed, all night when they're closed. You know, if somebody was to try to break in there, by the time they get Sawzall and try to start getting through that 9-gauge mesh, they're gonna have, you know, some visitors from the police, you know, from security before that.
And there's the battery backup for the system that I mentioned previously. just-
Oh, yeah, there's a full UPS system and there'll be a generator outside. So they will have no power outages.
All right. Is there anything that has to be reviewed at this point to make this information available to the public?
I think they've given us enough information. It's
The
comprehensive.
application is complete.
The application is complete.
Anyone have any other questions, concerns? Did we miss anything? And if you deem that this is good information, we could schedule a public hearing. Is that correct, Andy?
That's correct.
Normally, we do not schedule the public hearing for our next meeting, but the second meeting. That is due to a notification issue that we had run into before, to give us adequate time to public notice. Public meeting. So I don't have a calendar right here.
I'll get,
This would be June 15th. We had scheduled a public hearing for this.
Yes, if it's, the 15th is the next available, is what you're saying?
Yes.
No other option? Then yes, we would welcome that opportunity, yes.
Would you think there'd be a need to come, there's a meeting before that, which would be on the 1st, I believe.
yeah, June 1st.
Do you need to come before us for any reason? I don't see why you would.
It sounds like, I'm hearing that it's complete and everything's in check, and we're looking to, obviously, to be the lead agency and contact the county, and then we're setting the public hearing. I think we did all at Mark's.
That brings up a good question. Is there a lead agency issue that has to be addressed here?
Wait, is there any other involved agency listed on the EAF?
I think they list Dasney on the EAF, correct?
Well, for sure, the EAF.
Oh,
We just need to confirm if there's any other involved agencies. It'd be helpful if you could submit information into Lee about, on these facilities, if either DASNY or the Cannabis Management Board is deemed to be involved agency for secret purposes, as they clearly do need to have approval for the action. So if you're involved in other sites, how that's been handled through the state in terms of secret lead agency coordination, when there's a local approval required, and Wayne and I can just coordinate and just make sure procedurally the secret issues are addressed. That can get done certainly before the June 15th meeting, if we can handle the secret lead agency issue and likely the secret determination at the June 15th meeting.
So I was involved in the Potsdam location, and DASNY is the managing entity for the program, but they have no, they're just managing the construction, getting the real estate, they have no real authority over the property or anything afterwards. And then OCM, Office of Cannabis Management, they are just acting like the liquor authority, basically. They're just managing
Are they granting a license?
they're granting a license, yes.
So
OCM grants the license.
if you can give us information on the status of OCM as an approval required to operate the facility, the action, and whether they're deemed to be an involved agency under seeker. If they're an approving agency on the action, I would think the answer is yes, but if you could submit some information into Wayne on that issue.
We'll
make sure.
I'll do some research on that just to make sure it's not an issue.
Yep, that'd be great.
Okay, we're all set for the 15th public hearing, 7 o'clock. We do the first hour agenda. And then after the public hearing, we close it then you would be first on our agenda for that evening for the business.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the last part again, please?
On the 15th,
Yes?
7:30 is the public hearing. Public hearings are.
7 a.m.
Yeah. What did I say?
7:30.
7:30,
I
I'm sorry.
said 7 in the morning.
7 p.m., yes.
7 p.m. We usually conduct public hearings before our regular meeting. After the public hearing has concluded, we generally have you as our first item on our agenda for the opening of the business. So then we can discuss anything that happened at the public hearing or what the requirements are after that.
Is there a, if the public hearing goes, I'm optimistic that it will go well. We have the workshop time that follows. Is a determination made or on that day for final approval?
Usually we require a written response to the public hearing.
Could it be a conditional approval?
That's generally not been the practice or procedure of the planning board. So what the planning board's general procedure is, in the event there's a public hearing, if there are comments submitted, then the applicant will submit written responses to those comments for the record. Those responses get reviewed by the board and then the application's acted upon. If there are no public comments received during the public hearing, the board may move forward and consider action that evening. But in the event there's public comments submitted, the board generally, it's been their practice and procedure to require written responses for the record.
Understood.
Yeah, then the meeting after that would be July 6th. You would come back July 6th with the written answers to your public comments. Is your mic on? If you get it closer to.
Yeah, we'll just confirm it'll get sent to the
Before
camera.
you leave,
Yes,
I did
as soon as the public
want to
hearings
ask
is
you-
announced, just we send it down the next
Do
day.
you have any other information you should add?
As long as you have everything you want, you
All right,
I understand, and I'm happy to.
okay. And we want you to be a happy guy. All right. I don't think there's anything else. We will see you on the 15th.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a good evening.
Yes, thank you.
Scott, you got my email. I don't know if you have Wayne's or not, but if you need to get something to him, you don't have Wayne, you can get it to me. The email for Wayne, to get stuff to Wayne. If you don't have Wayne's, you can send it to me and I'll forward it to Wayne.
Certainly. Thank you.
Somebody at Fuller has my.
Yeah, I would think so.
Go ahead. Thank you again. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Hey, final item on our agenda this evening is Uso. This is a waiver of subdivision. We did review this at our last meeting under new business. We made some comments as far as amendments to your drawings. They included a stamp and well and septic indicated on the site plan and add site distances. And I believe they were all done. Now, we just got this evening, but we can check that out.
You got it right, Dave. That's the important part, just in the folder right there.
Jeff, could you You see the well? Or the new place?
The existing well,
Drive one.
The existing well, probably existing well.
Yeah, there is
This
a well.
This was the only one that was required.
But you're proposing to install a well.
Yes.
Right.
So he did both driveways.
Is that enough?
100 or 200.
Maybe 3.5?
I don't know. That's what he calls. It's 250 for a 35.
That's enough for 75 feet of air. It's gotta be about 40 feet here.
You know that rotors will rise.
Wait, did we need where a proposed well would be? I think. it's-
No, that's gonna be approved by the county health department anyway. They're gonna tell them where to put it, and
All right. And, what the site distances?
It appears that they were done for each driveway. Did you see the driveway 1 and driveway 2
Yes.
numbers? So it's the driveway that you're going to be using, Matt, would be number 2, is that correct?
Whatever, probably the shorter distance.
Yeah, right.
Oh, driveway 1. No, drive 1 is the northernmost driveway.
Wayne, do you see anything that pops out at you as far as anything that's, lacking here at this point? I don't, so. Is an ag statement included?
Mr. Bijian's property was, I believe it was like, it was 487 feet. It was just under the 500 foot.
Okay.
the driveway for which you have permit from the county, which one is that?
That is the driveway.
Driveway?
That was driveway
That would
1.
be driveway one, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't look sure.
Kevin, you got anything?
No, it's enough distance.
Well, speed limit's 30 there, right? I think Tom's Road's 30,
5.
35. It's, close. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what it is, 35.
We'll go find it.
Are we all set then, Chuck, with the site distances that are acceptable?
Well, we got a permit from the county.
To put that driveway in.
Okay.
County approved it.
All right. All right. Well, if there's no other questions or any other comments that have to be made on this, or are there any comments at this point, I will entertain a seeker declaration. Anybody wishes to make that?
I'm not going to make a declaration.
Okay, I have your declaration has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now on the approval of the waiver, conditions, Spencer County Health Department approval on.
Well, this is a non-realty, so it would be Rensselaer County Health Department approval for water and septic prior to issuance of the building.
We already did the perk test on that, so we're just not assuming to get that.
I don't believe there should be any other conditions at this point.
Got the permit for the driveway, so that would be the only other, it's the driveway.
Right. Does anybody have any other entertain a motion to approve the waiver with the one condition that was stated.
I make the motion.
Okay, do I have a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? We're all set. Now, we have to have these stamped. So I'm gonna hand this back to Chuck. You're gonna have him, we'll sign and stamp it and have it to you.
Okay, we call them on. Okay. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Okay.
These are all the. Thank you.
You're welcome. That concludes our regular agenda, but I'd like to go back to one item I have a question for you. This site plan for Humboldt Country LLC, does that have to be reviewed by Rensselaer County?
Yes, and the building department is now that the public hearing is scheduled and the application is complete, go forward to have it.
Okay. Does that have to be noted in the minutes?
It will, yeah.
Okay, that, like I said, that concludes our regular agenda. We do have one item under new business. This was a waiver of subdivision of Joshua Kingsley. Gerard? Charles. Okay. Did you, you just got this under new business, we just review it, it's like a little workshop we have. And then we will put you on our agenda for our next meeting. So why don't you come up and introduce yourself, tell us what you want to do, and then we'll just follow through with this, this drawing you would have from IBM.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm Joshua Kingsley Charlotte. I live at 6 Grandview Drive off of Pinewood. I've been there for almost a decade. Me and the neighbors have come to an agreement to make a lot line adjustment and annex approximately 10,500 square feet to my property off of it.
And
He lives at 656 Pinewood.
that person here,
No, they are not. I spoke with Wendy earlier, and she asked me to get a letter from them saying they agreed to the lot line adjustment, which I spoke to him, and his wife wasn't available, so he just wanted to wait for her to be available. I should have that by midweek.
Now, just to be clear on one, that would be this area right here.
Yes, sir.
That's correct. Okay. Anybody have any questions on it?
Is that in the background, a garden or something in the background?
Yeah, I have a garden and some fruit trees back there.
No buildings back there?
No buildings.
And this land is now owned by,
Jeffrey Arias and his wife Danielle, you have to excuse me, I'm not sure of her last name, it's probably on there.
do we need any letter for the record of,
Yes, from the neighbor.
Yeah,
Indicated. no-
yeah, I met with him earlier, because his wife wasn't available, so we'll have that by midweek, and I can drop that off if need be, or I can bring it to the next meeting, whatever.
Or we can drop it off earlier.
Yeah,
Sure.
dropping off earlier, probably. We have a short EAF. We'll have to review that real quick. In the meantime, we're gonna put you on our agenda for our next meeting. which is scheduled for the 1st of June. So we will put you on the official agenda.
Thank you.
And I don't have anything else. Wayne, you have anything that pops out at you?
I believe, oh, no, I believe it's either 15 or 25. I think it's 25. The parcel that this is coming off is 10 acres. And I remember when we were looking at that at the zoning, it was a 10-acre parcel. I told you, but I think that, well, now I've got to look. The hamlet may spread all over. Let me check.
Is public water in that block?
Yes, yep,
You have public water
yep. On the last house on Grandview with public water,
and septic system?
septic, yep.
Really doesn't matter, it's making this lot bigger.
I would say it's probably,
It's 10,000.
Is that an issue?
I don't know if the existing lot has got to be what, 9? If it's 100 by 100,
No,
12,000
it's,
square feet.
yeah.
It's like it's in the Hamlet district.
it is in the hamlet. Yeah, Hamlet went all the way out to 2 lots before Ethier. I remember that, and I was saying we've got 10 plus acres in a hamlet zone. Yeah, it is hamlet.
So what does that mean?
10,000 square feet.
You say like
10,000?
Shakespeare.
10,000.
Let's see.
I'm just trying to see if you had a problem you didn't know about.
Why,
Maybe
I
you
didn't know
need an
if you
extra
could make a
1,000.
lot, it's not, doesn't
Yeah.
conform to the zone.
All right. Do you have any questions for us?
No, I do not.
Okay, then, you know about the letter, and if you get to that, to us before the next meeting, that would be appreciated.
Yes, sir.
And we should be able to, move forward with that. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
No problem.
For a hamlet, you need 10,000 square foot of area for a lot.
Thank you, Chuck.
He's got that.
Okay. Is there any other new business, Chuck?
No, just the Grandview was the only one.
Okay.
Got a lot of stuff pending, but nothing's coming in.
We didn't really determine on Courier, are we tentatively going to put them on to our next meeting on June 1st?
I would say yes, and I will contact her. I know that the septic system had been looked at, and they were waiting on getting a report. So hopefully that will be completed.
Okay.
Yeah, part of my comments was that they needed to submit an engineering report with their application, and that would describe what's going on with the utilities, water and sewer.
I did forward those review questions to everybody from Wayne.
Okay. Okay, there's no other new business, any old business?
No.
Okay, then reviewing our agendas, future agendas. For our next meeting on June 1st, I had the Courier site plan and special use permit. And then this waiver of subdivision that we just received from Joshua Kingsley, Charlotte. And then on the 15th, we have the public hearing for the Humboldt Country LLC, the cannabis store.
So just so I'm clear on this, when I do the mailing list for that, I am doing that just for that parcel of that smaller mall. I'm not doing the whole Walmart parcel. I'm just doing what is owned.
Is it a separate
Currently-
parcel? I think it is.
It is a separate parcel.
Then it's
Yeah.
that site.
It is just that site.
That'd be my opinion.
That's
That
what
it's
I think.
Separately owned.
I agree, yeah.
Part of the overall PDD for the plaza, but it's unique in that it's 2 separate parcels. To
Mhm.
me, that's the project site, is the parcel.
Just a question, does Walmart own their property, or do they lease it?
I think they own it. Like recollection, it's like Walmart Realty Trust or something. There were, we can check the record on that, check the assessment records, but I think they own that side. They own the real estate.
All right, does anybody have any questions? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
For the second,
I'll second it.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.